Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. When we look deep into our connections between the Lagna chart and the D9 chart, the Navmansh chart, and we try to make some sense out of the placements in both the charts. Now some people look at only the Lagna's placement or planets placement in the Lagna, and then they look at the specific planets placement in the Navmansh and try to make most sense out of it. Sometimes they also look into signs. However, there should be a code with which you are able to relate to the placement of important planets, especially connecting the D1 chart to the D9 chart. Amongst these, the most important is the placement of the Lagna Lord in the Lagna chart, and how the Lagna Lord is placed in the D9 chart, which means the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart, how it is placed and where it is placed in the D9 chart, and is there a deeper meaning to its placement. The reason being is we make the 9 parts of the Lagna the ascendant of the Lagna chart, and from the 9th part we fathom what is the ascendant of the D9 chart. So similarly, the Lagna Lord's placement in the D9 chart will give its finer dissemination. So wherever the Lagna Lord is placed, in whichever sign it is placed in the Lagna chart, it is placed within a certain Navamsa of that house, of that sign. So then, basis which Navamsa it is going, whether it is going in the Navamsa of Aries or Taurus or Gemini, from that it is placed in that specific sign, and by virtue of that specific house in the D9 chart. That means there is a direct correlation between the Lagna Lord's placement in the D1 chart and its placement in the D9 chart. Now, how you correlate between the two is very, very important, and that is the crux of understanding not only how your life will turn out to be, what your purpose of life will be, what are the probabilities, what are the possibilities, what are the challenges. Because the Lagna Lord's placement in the Lagna chart in any of the 12 houses gives you an array of possibilities what can be done, but how it can be done is seen from the D9 chart. So you look at the Lagna Lord's placement in the D1 chart to see where the possibilities are coming from, and its placement then the same Lagna Lord's placement in the 12 houses in the D9 chart to look at the probabilities and how you will be able to achieve. So let's jump directly into how the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart, the Lagna chart, when placed in the different houses in the Navmansh chart, can throw up different opportunities for you, probabilities for you, gains for you, luck for you, and maybe even challenges or issues or problems for you. So let's look at the first house first. So when the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the Lagna or the first house of the D9 chart, what is the meaning? Here the clear meaning is that it is being strongly supportive. The Navmansh chart is very strongly supportive of you doing very well in life, your reputation being enhanced, you being able to achieve the purpose of your life, you being able to make right choices, having good health, all-round development, all-round gain, and the Navmansh is helping you to be able to do that, because the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is directly gone into the Lagna of the D9 chart. So the Lagna of the D9 chart, which also means a finer correlation of your reputation, your status in society, your respect, your position, how people see you, all that is being made possible and probable, highly probable, by the D1 Lagna Lord being placed in the Lagna of the D9 chart. But how will you get it? Now you correlate that to the placement of the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart, and then you correlate between the two. So the D1 chart, so in the D1 chart, if the Lagna Lord, for example, is placed in the 5th house, so now the 5th house of the D1 chart is getting connected with the Lagna Lord's placement in the 1st house of the D9 chart. How you correlate? You correlate by saying that there is high probability of you getting a reputation, name, fame, status in society if you work in the areas connected to the 5th house in the Lagna. What does this mean? Which means your reputation, higher probability of higher success, good reputation, good status in life will come from the fifth house areas, which means how you will be able to handle your romantic life. Through that you will have a higher reputation in life, or you may lose your name, or you may be gaining your name in life. How you handle your finances, how you handle your speculative investments, how you handle the change in your jobs, because the fifth house is the 8th house to the 10th house, it is upheavals. So how you manage those upheavals, those changes, how do you make the right choices, how do you make the right moves through that. And if you do that, then you may get a good status, good reputation in life. This could also mean that your reputation in life could also come from your children. If you raise good children, if you give them right values, if your children do very well, then you could also gain a name for yourself, because you raise good children, you help them to do good things, and because of the success of your children, you also gain a reputation in life. For example, we all know that Amitabh Bachchan, the mega star of India, his father's name is Harivansh Rai Bachchan, who was also a very reputed poet. But Harivansh Rai Bachchan's name became bigger, larger. More people know him because of being the father of Amitabh Bachchan. So sometimes when your children do very well, then the father's name also grows. And that is the meaning and the placement, or the correlation between the fifth house placement of the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart and the Lagna placement of the Lagna Lord in the D9 chart. Now you also look into which is the planet, which is the Lagna Lord. So here, if the planet is, for example, Sun, then it means that through a lot of responsibility, taking accountability, taking leadership for your purpose of life, for where your speculative investments are going, how you raise your children, how you treat your romantic partner, how you take care of projects in your life, how you take care of reputation and power and influence which Sun gives you. If you are able to do that with a lot of authority, but accountability and responsibility in the areas of the fifth house, then success, name, stature, good health, and even the promise of achieving the purpose of your life can come when the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the Lagna of the D9 chart. Let's go to the second house. When the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the second house of the D9 chart, the Navmansh chart, here it shows, or there is higher probability that the biggest challenges plus opportunities will come from the second house areas, which means there is a high probability, high success given to you to gain a large livelihood, to be able to make a lot of money, to have lot of success in terms of your assets, in terms of your bank balance, in terms of liquid money, in terms of being seen as somebody who has a lot of reputation as a person of principles and values, being able to get all sorts of nourishment, being able to serve all sorts of palates, being a foodie, being able to get everything that you wanted, you wished for, and also having a big reputation in your community, in your tribe, in your extended community. But where will that come from? It will come from the Lagna Lord's placement in the Lagna chart. So now, if the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart is placed in the Lagna itself in the D1 chart, but now it is getting into the second house in the D9 chart, which means that how you carry yourself with a lot of dignity, with a lot of respect. You are ready to take more responsibility for your own actions, for your projects, for your decisions. You are thought through. You make thought through decisions. You take care of everybody rather than only yourself. The focus is on everybody else, all areas of life rather than on yourself. Then being seen as a person of principles and values will gain you high livelihood. People may want to work with you, people may give you opportunities, people may want to work with you in the business environment, people may want to tie up with you to be able to make their investments, and through that you will be able to make a lot of money. Now if Saturn is the Lagna Lord, then it means that you will have to work hard, you will have to be very patient, you will have to have a serving mindset while you do your responsibilities, while you are accountable for your choices. How you are carrying yourself in life should also be seen as a person of with dignity, a person of discipline, as a person who is very helpful, as a person who is very supportive. Then you will be able to make more money, you will be able to increase your livelihood, you will be able to sustain a very good lifestyle, you will be able to get a lot of respect in your extended community as well. That's what it means when your Lagna Lord gets placed in the second house in the D9 chart. Now if the Lagna Lord in the D9 chart, in the Navmansh chart, gets into the third house, the third house is the house of communication, rapport, your ability to influence. So here the zodiac is telling you that you will be given a high chance, a high probability and high success in being able to influence other people, in being able to market yourself, in being able to establish yourself as a strong brand. You will be able to communicate with people and will be able to convince them to your actions, to your thoughts, to your beliefs. But that will be coming from where the Lagna Lord is placed in the D1 chart. Say the Lagna Lord is placed in the D1 chart in the 7th house, which means how you make your connections, how you make your relationships, how you make your partnership, how much of a team person you are, how much you are ready to put in your own effort, how much you are ready to bend your back in a team environment, in a project environment, in a partnership, in a relationship. Through that you will be able to make more gains, being able to influence more people. So the better connections you make, because the Lagna Lord is placed in the 7th house, the better you will be able to influence others, the better you will be able to market yourself, the better you will be able to get gains. And through those partnerships you may also be able to establish something of your own later on in life, and higher degree of success is promised to you, not guaranteed to you, but it's made highly probable if you do justice to the Lagna Lord's placement in the 7th house in the Lagna chart, by establishing true partnerships, by being committed in the partnership, by holding dear the partnerships, being ready to serve the partnerships and the partner, and through those connections, strong connections, not only with the spouse but anybody and everybody, especially the team that you work with, especially the people that you work with, especially in the arena that you work with, especially in the industry that you work with, then higher gains will come to you. Big reputation will come to you as a big influencer. You may be able to do very well on the social media as well. So see these connections. Now if Moon is the Lagna Lord, which is placed in the 7th house in the D1 chart, but now going into the 3rd house in the D9 chart, this means with more creativity, with more innovation, with a very supportive, very nourishing, very empathetic, very understanding approach that you have towards your partnership, towards those connections, through that you will be able to make the best gains as an influencer, to the empathetic, creative, innovative approach to relationship, and through communication, and through the ability to be able to convince others to do your bidding, to convince others to follow in your path, to convince others to walk with you. That is the meaning of the Lagna Lord placed in the 3rd house in the D9 chart. Now when the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart gets into the 4th house in the D9 chart, what does this mean? It means that the happiness of the 4th house, the happiness of the domestic bliss, the peace of mind, assets, lots of assets, property, all sorts of conveniences, all will come to you, or high probability is given to you to be able to do that, because of the final placement of the Lagna Lord in the 4th house on the D9 chart, but connected to the area that the Lagna Lord is placed in the Lagna chart. Now if the Lagna Lord in the D9 house is in the 4th house, but now gone into the 10th house in the Lagna chart, which means that the more you are dedicated and committed to your career, to your work, to your karma, to how you're seen at work, how much of responsibilities you're ready to take, how much of a role you're able to play at your work, how people see you at your work, how team members see you, how your supervisors see you, how authority figures see you. So if you are yourself an authority figure, or you have a great rapport with your authority figures, or you work closely with them, you work as a team even while working under them, then the zodiac promises you, gives you a higher probability of making not some but huge assets of the 4th house in your D9 chart. And not only assets, because you are able to give better lifestyle, a better quality of life to your family, a better quality of life to your dependents, so there will be more domestic peace, there will be more happiness, there will be more comforts and luxuries in your life. So see the connection between the D1 chart Lagna Lord's placement to the D9 chart's Lagna Lord's placement. Now depending on which planet is associated, that's how you will be able to carry yourself. Now say Mercury is the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart and now gone into the 4th house on the D9 chart, which means you will have to be somebody who is very measured, who is very analytical, who is very data driven, who makes intelligent choices, who makes very calculated and balanced choices. You are not somebody who will make flimsy choices rushing into dangers, but you will make thought through analytical decisions while at work. You will make intelligent choices. You will use data to be able to make choices, and your data and your work will be connected to a more analytical approach to work, more intelligent approach to work, to be able to be more supportive, to be more serving at work, and through that being more young at heart, being somebody who is very helpful, somebody who believes in communication, which Mercury represents, open-ended communication, sharp, pointed communication, then you will be able to do better at work, and that's how you should be able to carry yourself, and through that you will be able to make huge gains of the 4th house. And that is the meaning of the placement of the D1 Lagna Lord in the 4th house in the D9 chart. Now when the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart goes into the 5th house in the D9 chart, what does this mean? It means that the results or probable results or good results of the D9 chart 5th house placement of the Lagna Lord are more or less promised to you, almost made highly probable to you. What does this mean? Great success in your romances, great success in being able to raise good children, good success in speculative investments, good success when you want to make a change in your job, good success when you have an upheaval, a change in the job. Making the next move can be a better success for you rather than being stagnant in a place. All this is promised to you, made highly probable to you, but based on the placement of the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart. So now if the Lagna Lord is getting into the D1 chart in the 6th house, what does this mean? It means that you will get better success of the 5th house placement of the Lagna Lord in the D9 chart based on what is the service mindset, serving mindset, and how you work and deal with competition, with inimical forces, people who work behind your back. If you are more tactful, if you are more diplomatic, and if you handle it well, you work with your colleagues well, you don't get into unnecessary personality fights, ugly fights with them to overshadow each other, but you do your bidding. You work strongly at the projects which is given to you, the responsibilities which is given to you, and you have a serving mindset, then you will find that the changes which are there, which may come about to you related to the 5th house placement of the Lagna Lord in the D9 chart, because the 5th house is the 8th house to the 10th house. So those changes will work in your favor. In fact, making changes while you're serving in a certain job, when an opportunity comes to you, may be good for you. Maybe in fact be giving a fillip to your career, to an opportunity, and through that, having that mindset, maybe even changes, you may also meet somebody with the change in a new setup, in a new environment, in a new role. And when you have the service mindset in a relationship also, being ready to serve your partner, being more helpful to the partner, expecting less from your partner in the relationship, you will find that your romance will blossom. You will get better intimacy, you will get better closeness, and you will have a more happy and very solid relationship with your romantic partner. But this also depends to a large extent based on which planet it is. If it is the Venus planet, which is the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart and placed in the 6th house in the D1 chart, but now getting into the 5th house in the D9 chart, which means that even while Venus is weak in the 6th house in the D1 chart, but if you have a mindset of serving, giving more, expecting less, and wanting to be more helpful, wanting to be more chivalrous, wanting to be more giving, wanting to be giving more love, affection, support, then you will find that your romance will truly blossom, because the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart, Venus planet, is placed in the 5th house in the D9 chart. This is also good placement for doing very well in the artistic medium or through an artistic pursuit, because Venus is involved here. And if you are ready to serve through the discipline with artistic performances, artistic medium, then you can get a lot of name, fame and adulation, because Venus is placed in the 5th house of public performances. So see how the D1 placement and the D9 placement of the Lagna Lord is placed with the planet, and you will find that great success of the 5th house will come to you when the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the D9 chart in the 5th house. Now let's go to the 6th house of the D9 chart. If the Lagna Lord is placed, if the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the 6th house in the D9 chart, what does this mean? It means great success, or the probability of success or promise of success will come in a service enterprise, in a serving enterprise, in a career, in a work. This need not be only in a job. It also means that even if you do business with a service mindset, your business is related to services, hospitality services, for example, then you may do very, very well. Or if they are connected to services, connected to restaurants, connected to spas, any business that you connect the 6th house of the D9 chart to with services, where you're serving, you're helping others, where you're supporting others, you will get great success there. You will have very good team members, you will have people who will be very supportive of you. Even your competition may work for you or work in your favor, or they may not be as competitive to you, or they may not be able to do anything against you because you may overshadow all of them. So if the Lagna Lord in the D9 chart is placed in the 6th house, then success in all matters connected to either business or serving or job. Also success over those people who are trying to compete with you, even success in court cases and other challenges which people put up to you. But this is all connected to the Lagna Lord's placement in the D1 chart. So now in the D1 chart, say if the Lagna Lord is getting placed in the 9th house, then how do you connect the placement of the 6th house placement of the Lagna Lord in the D9 chart with the 9th house placement of the D1 chart? Here you see that greater success is coming to you in the arena of service through the matters of the 9th house of the D1 chart. Now what is the 9th house? The 9th house is about learning, higher education, which means if you serve others through your education, through your higher learning, through your experiences, through your expertise, even as a guru, you're ready to go the distance to serve others. You're ready to move away from your comfort zone to serve others. You are ready to go long distance to serve others. You are ready to serve people from different communities. You are ready to go extra mile to serve others. You're ready to serve people from different castes, different geographies, and don't hold yourself back when you do that. Then greater success will come through you in the service arena, connected to your education, connected to your experience, connected to your expertise. Now, which is the planet which rules the Lagna of the D1 chart is very important. Say here Mars is the Lord of the 9th house on the D1 chart and now gone into the 6th house of the D9 chart. Now what does this mean? This means that you will have to put all your focus, all your energy, all your attention, uncluttered mind to serve others. You should make the biggest goal, the biggest purpose of your life to be able to serve others without diluting your effort, without diluting your energy, with one track mindset to be able to do that. Not thinking too much about what is the gain for me, what if I do this, what if I do that, will this be profitable or not, without getting into all of that. That's just serving with a single mind, with a single purpose, with all your dedication and energy, and then the success will come to you when Mars is placed in the 6th house of the D9 chart, while it is placed in the 9th house in the Lagna chart. Now if the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the 7th house of the D9 chart, what does it mean? It means that you will get the biggest successes, but the biggest challenges may also come through your connections, through your relationships, in trying to keep a balance. But the probability of success is high, but that is connected to your Lagna Lord's placement in the D1 chart. So if the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart is placed in the 2nd house of income, of livelihood, of higher money, then it means that the better connections you make, the better relationships you make with people, the better partnerships you make with people, through that you will be able to get a higher income, you will be able to get a higher livelihood, you will also get a good reputation, you will also be able to carry yourself with a lot of principles and values as people see you because of the 2nd house connection. So strong results coming through your partnerships, coming in business, coming in your connections, getting the support of team members, getting the support and the success in your projects, all will come from how you carry yourself with the dignity, with principles and values, how you carry your dependents along, how you carry your community along, and through that being able to gain a higher livelihood. So a person who has strong principles and values, who has strong self-belief, who has a strong sense of belief of community, of tribe, is not ready to bend his or her values and principles just for higher livelihood, but is able to keep those principles and beliefs strong while trying to earn the livelihood, then his connections will be strong, his relationships will be very strong, and through that he'll be able to gain much more. This is a strong placement of doing very well in a business environment, also in a business setup also, because the second lord placement of the Lagna lord in the D1 chart is getting into the 7th house in the D9 chart. These partnerships will also be very favorable to you. This can also be giving you a spouse closer to home rather than far away places. Your spouse can also become one of the best partners. The strongest connection that you may have with may also be with your spouse. In fact, your spouse may also come connected to where you earn your livelihood from, or with whom you earn your livelihood from. Now, which is the planet which rules the Lagna in the D1 chart makes its presence felt? Say for example, Jupiter rules the Lagna of the D1 chart and is placed in the 2nd house of the D1 chart, but now placed in the 7th house in the D9 chart, which means that while you carry yourself or do your business or do your work with a lot of principles and values, being large-hearted, being more wise, being somebody who learns from experiences, puts his experiences forward, and is large-hearted in relationship, is large-hearted with his community, is large-hearted even while sticking to his principles and values, and through his wisdom wants to earn his money, through being a guru, through gaining expertise in an area, is ready to gain his livelihood, and through that is able to make strong connections, and through that making huge gains through his relationship, through his partnerships. That's how you should be able to see the D9 placement of the Lagna lord in the 7th house. If the Lagna lord of the D1 chart gets placed in the 8th house in the D9 chart, what does this mean? This means that your life may be a life of transformations, changes, challenges, but through that will come the biggest gains, will come the biggest opportunities. Though the biggest issues and problems may also come from the 8th house placement of the D1 Lagna lord. What does this mean? This means, where does your Lagna lord place in the D1 chart? If it's placed in the 10th house. So here it says that your biggest challenges, your biggest tribulations, your biggest obstacles may come from your career, from your work. However, if you are ready to face them with a cool mind, with a calm mind, with a lot of being dedicated, committed at work, being very loyal at work, still being able to work closely with people, still working closely with superiors, with management, higher management, then you will find that the obstacles that come in your path, the challenges which come in your path may also in fact may become the biggest asset. Through those challenges, through those experiences, you will rise higher, you will make more gains out of that. The obstacles will in fact throw you in a different path which may lead you to success. That success may also come through finance, through accounts, through government connection, through government projects, working in those realms which are hidden, through greater expertise, through more analytical ability, through more research oriented approach, and obviously based on which is the planet, which is the Lagna lord. Say now if the Lagna lord is Saturn of the Lagna of the D1 chart and now placed in the 8th house in the D9 chart while it is placed in the 10th house in the Lagna chart. This means the higher commitment that you show at work, the higher dedication that you show at work, and being more patient even when hitting obstructions, even when hitting biggest challenges, and still sticking to a certain discipline, not moving away from the serving mindset which Saturn is ready to do, not moving away from a persevering environment, from a persevering mindset, from a serving mindset, then long-term success will come to you, obstacles will be moved away from you, and through these transformations which you are ready to do because of the placement of the Lagna lord in the 8th house in the D9 chart, through those transformations, through the change, the opportunity of change that will come to you, and if you make that change, if you're ready to take the transformation and the change, then the huge success will come to you long term. And that is the meaning of the placement of the Lagna lord in the 8th house for you in the D9 chart. Now if the Lagna lord of the D1 chart is placed in the 9th house of the D9 chart, what does this mean? It means the greatest probabilities of success, the promise of success, but the challenges, the issues, the upheavals may also come from the 9th house areas, which means that the greatest success may come to you in education, in higher learning, through experiences, but also in long distance travel or moving away from your comfort zone. The more you are ready to change your mindset, the more you are ready to change your belief system, or hold steadfast to your principles and values, or to the teaching of your gurus, the teaching of the fathers, the principles and values which have been instilled in you, and ready to be an expert, ready to be a guru in your own right, then larger success, huge success will come to you in that realm, but based on the placement of the Lagna lord in the D1 chart. Now if the Lagna lord in the D1 chart is placed in the 3rd house, which means how you are able to communicate. The third house is also placement of teaching, of influencing, on being able to convince people. If you are able to put in a lot of effort, if you are ready to go the long distance to be able to work on your ability to influence people, work on your ability to be able to convince people, you work hard on your communication skills, you work hard on how you are able to reach out to people, and you work on the expertise that you develop, whether it is through emails, whether it is through social media, or whether it is through blog. So the better you are, the more harder you work on your ability to convince, the more harder you work on your career, the more harder you work on your self-enterprise, depending on yourself for success rather than on others. And the more expertise that you build in your arena of work, in your communication, in your ability to influence people, and in the industry and the area that you work in, then you will be seen as a guru, you will be seen as an expert because of the Lagna Lord placed in the 9th house, and big success will come to you from around the world, not only from your own place of birth. People will take you as an expert, people will want to believe in you, people may want to walk on the path that you show them, or be convinced on the action that you are advising to them. However, this may also depend on the Lagna Lord, which planet is the Lagna Lord. If Moon is the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart, which means the more creative you are in your communication, the more empathetic you are in your communication, the more you listen. When you talk, you paraphrase. You are also able to take in the needs of the opposite person, the needs of the clients, the needs of the people that you are dealing with. And through a very empathetic, understanding, supportive, nourishing, creative, innovative communication, innovative way of influencing others, then you will be able to gain great of the areas of the 9th house through your education, through your higher learning, being able to showcase yourself as a guru, as an expert also, and success from all areas of life around the world, and the biggest gains which the 9th house can throw at you because of the Lagna Lord's placement in the 9th house on the D9 chart. Now say the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the 10th house of the D9 chart. What does this mean? It means the biggest probability of success, the promise of success in your career, in your work, in your karma, in your kriyaman karma, in day-to-day actions is given to you, made highly probable to you, even promised to you, though not guaranteed to you, as long as you are able to connect it properly to the D1 Lagna Lord's placement in the D1 chart, which house it is placed in. So if the Lagna Lord which is placed in the 10th house on the D9 chart is placed in the 11th house in the D1 chart, what does this mean? The 11th house is the house of your social connects, your networks, your ability to connect to a cause, to a larger cause, working in the larger organization, which means when you are connected to a cause or you're working for a certain objective, and for that objective, for that cause, you are ready to make connections, even those connections which may not be very healthy for you, or you may not like those connections a lot, you may not even like those people, but you feel the cause is greater than you, the objective is greater than you. Many a time in large organizations we work with people whom we may not get along, whom we may not like, but if we feel the cause is larger than our own animosities, our own likes or dislikes, but we are ready to put aside our differences, work for the cause, work for the objective, work for the project, work for the target, work for the aim that we have, then you will find that you will get great success of the 10th house in your career, in your reputation, in your designation at work, which will be coming to you because of the Lagna Lord's placement in the 10th house on the D9 chart. So carry yourself with a lot of social responsibility, carry yourself as a person who wants to connect with people, establish those connections with people, especially if you're working in a large organization looking at the cause rather than self. Then larger success, higher probability of success is coming to you because of the Lagna Lord's placement in the 10th house on the D9 chart. However, which planet is involved is also important here. Say for example, Venus is the planet which rules the Lagna in the D1 chart. So here, being more gracious, being more sophisticated in how you form your connections, being more giving, being more inspirational, being more suave, being more stylish, working on your presentation, working on how you look, working on your hygiene, working on your presentation skills, everything should be fine. Your approach to people should be fine. There should be a lot of dignity in you. There should be a lot of style, chivalry in you. When you talk to the opposite gender, keep in mind that you're not talking to your own gender. And when you look at these nuances and work on the social connection and work for the cause, then the greatest success in your career can come because of the Lagna Lord placed in the 10th house in the D9 chart. Now if the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the 11th house in the D9 chart, what does this mean? This means some of the greatest successes, social media successes, being able to influence large masses, being the darling of the large masses, being somebody who may be a celebrity on your own right, being somebody who is known to a lot of people, being somebody who can influence a lot of lives, being somebody who can work for a large cause and do very well, as a high probability is given to you. Being able to fulfill your wishes and desires is given to you, but based on the placement of the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart. Now say the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart is placed in the 12th house and now placed in the 11th house in the D9 chart. What does this mean? What does the 12th house represent? The 12th house represents excesses, waste, working in a solitary medium, but doing more for others, living for others, being more charitable, being somebody who donates more or gives more, somebody who has an eye on the expenses, ready to work with people from different cultures, even ready to work abroad. This means when you work for a cause, higher cause than yourself, even for a spiritual cause, being more charitable, not looking at what you are gaining, being even somebody who has a large heart to donate, or working for those people who themselves are poor, hungry, destitute, working with foreign clients or working in foreign lands, then greatest success may come to you. Your greatest success may come from foreign lands. The biggest adulation that comes to you as an influencer may come from people who are not from your culture, maybe from foreign lands. If you are somebody who is more charitable, working for a cause, then you may be known by the huge masses of the 11th house of the D9 chart. You may be known as a big philanthropist. You may be known as somebody who works for large causes and you are the forefront of those large causes. Somebody like a Medha Patkar, somebody like a Mother Teresa, somebody like a Greta Thunberg, somebody even like a Bill Gates who has pledged billions of his dollars of his money. So now look into the planet which is the Lagna Lord in the D1 chart. If it is Mercury which rules the Lagna of the D1 chart, now this means that being very analytical, being very thought through, being very intelligent of what causes to pick up, what causes to run, and not being blindsided to who you're working with what projects you're working with, which cause you're working for, which cause you're donating for, who are the people that you're working with, being more intelligent, being more practical, being able to separate the rice from the chaff, not making emotional decisions but intelligent, thought through, objective decisions, clever decisions, and through that being able to work for a cause, through that being able to donate more, through that being able to do more for something that you believe in, reaching your objective is this placement. And that is the meaning of the Lagna Lord's placement in the 11th house of the D9 chart. Now if the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart is placed in the 12th house of the D9 chart, what does this mean? This means some of the greatest successes in the hereafter, in the spiritual realm, in being able to elevate your soul, in being able to elevate yourself spiritually, in being able to do more, leave your legacy behind, leaving your example behind, getting great successes both in the spiritual arena, in the hereafter, in the path of spirituality, and even connected to foreign lands may all be given to you, may all be made highly probable for you. But that depends on where the Lagna Lord is placed in the Lagna chart. Now in the Lagna chart, if the Lagna Lord is placed in the 10th house while being placed in the 12th house in the D9 chart, which means that your work, your karma, your objectives, your career, all should be related to some larger cause, something that you truly believe in, something that you can associate also emotionally, spiritually also. If you are very disturbed working for a cause, if you are not getting that mental satisfaction when you go back home, if you are working for just money, if you don't believe in something, but you are spending whole attention toward that project just because you believe that it will give you a better lifestyle, you will be able to give a better life to your family, you will be able to build better assets, but spiritually and at a soul's level you are not able to relate to it, then you will find that the spiritual elevation may not come to you, the successes may not be coming to you. But if you work for a cause which you truly believe in, which you can be dedicated and committed for, which will give you the sense of satisfaction, which will give you a sense of purpose, when you work with dedication, commitment, patience, perseverance, working closely with your supervisors, with your managers, with the management, truly believing in a cause and wanting to leave a strong imprint behind, wanting to leave a strong legacy behind, wanting to leave your example behind, then through that perseverance, through that dedication, through being attached to an objective, then the zodiac will be able to help you to elevate spiritually, to be able to do more, to leave a strong legacy behind, to be able to lead through an example, and also maybe give you great success in foreign lands, working with foreign clients as well. Make your objective larger than just relegated only to your national boundaries. Now, which planet is involved obviously will be an important connection here. So if Sun is involved here, then feeling responsible for that cause, feeling accountable for that cause, putting yourself first in the realm of that cause, in the path of that cause, not working so much about personal success, personal glory, but being able to do it for the team, being able to do it for the organization, being able to do it for the society, being able to do it for the world at large. And through that, because Sun also means soul, you may get the highest elevation of the soul, you may be able to get a crack at moksha itself, and you may be able to leave a strong legacy behind long after you are gone. That is the meaning of the Lagna Lord of the D1 placement in the 12th house of the D9 chart. Now friends, that we saw the connection of how the Lagna Lord of the D1 chart, basis where it is placed there, can get connected to the Lagna Lord's placement in the D9 chart in the 12 houses. See how the connections are working out, which planet is involved, and through that be able to fathom what are the highest probabilities which are being given to you, highest promises are given to you, not guarantees surely, but higher probabilities and promises being given to you. Walk in that path, you will find that greater glory will come to you, greater success will come to you, greatest mental satisfaction will also come to you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is the friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off.